Hello YouTube, this is Chuck, and it's Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and as you can see, I'm out here in the van / recording studio, and I got a quick one for you. And I made a whole series now of Bigfoot Stuff videos, and I've really been wanting to make one on some other subject, but I got a fresh story that just came in today that I thought you might get a kick out of or enjoy. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. In my community post this morning, I mentioned that I had a long phone conversation with a guy from up in Minnesota. And he had an interesting experience as well, and I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to make a video about that or not. And because it's a paranormal thing, but it probably is not Sasquatch related, and I'm not quite sure how to present it. But that's the post office guy going by. Anyway, but this one here, he texted me this morning. After I talked to him on the phone yesterday, he texted me this morning, and he said his sister's got something going on, and he wanted to know if it was okay to give her my phone number. And I said, sure, no problem. And good golly, about, I don't know, maybe half an hour later, phone rings, and it's this gentleman's sister. And for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to call her sister. And now he lives up in Minnesota, and he lives in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and she lives a couple hours west of there, over near the South Dakota state line, in a little town. And she lives right in town. And she's to lay the groundwork, she's a single mom, has a young daughter, lived in this little town in this house for about 4 years now. Well, she's on and off ever since she's been there. She's been hearing a whistling at night. And there's no particular reason why this whistle should happen. And she says it's kind of like whistling a tune, but it varies a little bit. So it's not, she thought it was somebody playing a recording of some kind, and it's not that, because it's every time it does it, it's a little bit different. And so she's, she sounds like a pretty sharp gal. I talked to her on the phone, and so she's telling me about her experience, and she says she's kind of got her baffled, and so she kind of asked around a little bit, and I guess somebody there told her that they have a cryptid creature in Minnesota called a Wendigo, and they're supposed to be pretty bad hombres, and I don't know a whole lot about them. I've heard of them, but anyway, they kind of warned her and said, don't go out at night and all this kind of stuff, and she hadn't felt threatened or anything, but this every so often we should get this whistle. It's like a little tune. And so she asked me what I thought of that. And so I asked her a couple of questions, and I asked her if she's when she goes out there, if she ever feels any kind of a weird feeling in her head or anything like that. And she said every once in a while she actually has kind of a ringing in the ears kind of sensation, and felt a little strange when she goes out there. And so that was the first clue I got. And so then I asked her, I says, if anything ever get moved around in the yard or anything? And she said, well, once in a while the trash can gets knocked over, but of course that could be a neighbor dog or something doing that. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I asked her about raccoons, and she said they don't have any raccoons. But, she wasn't thinking it could possibly be Sasquatch related, because she said it's all in farmland, but that that doesn't really mean anything. I explained to her, I said, they could have lived there long before we white Anglo-Europeans showed up on the scene, and they could have been living there for hundreds of years. But what kind of struck me is that the whatever it was not trying to scare her, and it was like they were trying to get her attention, that they're there without scaring her. So I asked her another question. I said, well, have you ever had something left on your porch or something? Like a leaf or a little stone or something. She got real silent for a second. She says, yeah. She said, there's been some really pretty leaves that were left on the step. And she said, and they're not from any trees that are around there. Bingo. What I think's going on is I think there are Sasquatches there, and maybe a young male kind of fancies her. And he's trying to get her attention, but he's trying to do it in such a way that he doesn't scare her. So what did I tell her? Well, I told her what I tell everybody. I said, go on my homepage of the channel and go over to podcast and watch my Bigfoot Stuff number 1 through Bigfoot Stuff number 10. And of course, number 1 through number 9 tells you what we have learned as a group. And number 10 tells you how to go out and do what we do. And then I told her after that, then go and watch my one that's titled My 100th Bigfoot Stuff video, Do You Want to Make Contact? And that's going to tell you to go back and watch those first 10, but you've already done that. You don't have to do it twice. And if you want to try to make contact, that tells you how to do it. So I told her to do that, and then I told her to, if anything happens, let me know. I'd like to follow up on that. But it's just a little short, quick one, and it's pretty classic. And like I say, I just talked to her this morning, and we'll see if anything comes of it. If it does, I'll let you know. So right now I'm getting, we're leaving Saturday morning for a week, Thanksgiving trip. And so I'm trying to get the new truck and the trailer all put together and ready to go. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. And Friday morning, I got to work at the museum. So I'm going to try to bring you a video on something else. But for right now, let me tell you, as I always do, take care of each other and love each other. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you again before Thanksgiving. But if I don't, I hope here's wishing you all a peaceful, happy, and safe Thanksgiving. And I'm going to try to bring you videos on the trip. And so I guess from right now, there's really nothing more to do but to tell you peace out. And give you another look back over my shoulder here at my little sign. Because, yeah, I'd rather be squatching.